Hey Aquarius, I want to talk with you today about something that has been weighing on many of your hearts. How do you actually break karmic patterns in love? How do you stop repeating the same painful cycles and finally move forward into something healthier? I pulled 3 cards for you on this question, and the message that came through is so specific and so powerful. These cards are really showing the exact pathway you need to take to break free from these old romantic patterns that have been holding you back. The first card that appeared is the Hierophant. Now, this is interesting because when people think about breaking free from anything, they usually do not expect to see the Hierophant show up. This card is traditionally about structure, tradition, and established systems. But here is what is so fascinating about this card appearing for your question. The Hierophant is pointing directly at the root of your karmic love pattern, and that root is belief systems. Aquarius, how much of what you believe about love actually comes from your own experience versus what you absorbed from your family? Your culture, the relationships you witnessed growing up. This is the real question. The Hierophant is asking you to examine. You pride yourself on being the rebel, the one who thinks differently, the revolutionary. But the Hierophant is revealing something uncomfortable. In matters of the heart, you might have been following a script that was written long before you were born. These are unconscious rules running in the background of every romantic choice you make without you even realizing it. Maybe it is the belief that love requires sacrifice of your independence. Maybe it is the idea that you have to fix or save your partner to prove your love. Maybe it is the pattern of choosing emotionally unavailable people because that is what felt familiar in your early environment. Whatever it is, the Hierophant is illuminating these inherited beliefs right now. Here is the critical insight from this card. You cannot break a pattern you do not see. The first step in breaking your karmic love cycle is becoming conscious of which beliefs about love are actually yours and which ones you are carrying for someone else. This is where the real work begins. The Hierophant is not just about recognizing tradition, though. This card is also about wisdom and becoming your own authority. So what this card is really telling you is that you have the capacity to establish your own values, your own definitions, your own understanding of what love means to you. Not what your parents told you, not what society says, not what movies and songs taught you, what you actually believe and want. This is where karma breaks, Aquarius. When you stop unconsciously repeating patterns because they feel familiar and start consciously choosing based on your authentic values. The Hierophant is asking you to question everything you thought you knew about how love should work and build something real from the ground up based on your truth. And I need to be honest with you about this process. It is not quick. The Hierophant energy is patient and methodical. Breaking karmic patterns is not a sudden dramatic shift where everything changes overnight. It is deep internal work. It is examining your beliefs, understanding where they came from, deciding which ones actually serve you, and then slowly building a new foundation. For you specifically, this might mean looking at your relationship history and finding the common threads. What type of person do you keep attracting? What role do you keep playing? What outcome keeps repeating itself? Then ask yourself, where did I learn that this was how love works? The Hierophant is giving you permission to challenge those assumptions and rewrite the rules. This card is also highlighting that you might need support during this process. That could be therapy, working with a spiritual mentor, or deep conversations with trusted friends who can help you see your blind spots. The Hierophant represents that wise figure who helps us understand the mysteries. And right now, the mystery is your own heart and why it keeps choosing what it chooses. The energy here is saying your karmic pattern in love is deeply connected to conditioning. The way out is through conscious deconstruction of that conditioning, followed by intentional reconstruction of your beliefs about love, relationships, and your own worthiness of healthy partnership. The second card is the Chariot, and this is where the energy completely shifts. If the Hierophant was about slowing down to examine and understand, the Chariot is about taking control and moving forward with determination. The Chariot is one of the most powerful cards about willpower, direction, and victory. In the context of breaking your love karma, this card is telling you that once you have identified your patterns with the Hierophant, the next step is decisive action. You have to take the reins of your own romantic life and steer yourself in a completely different direction. Here is what I am seeing with the Chariot for you, Aquarius. This card is about mastery and control, but not control over another person. Control over yourself. Control over your reactions, your choices, your patterns. The Chariot is saying that you have the power to override your programming, to choose differently even when every cell in your body is screaming at you to repeat the familiar pattern. Think about the chariot imagery. There is a figure directing two sphinxes or horses that want to go in different directions. This is you managing the conflict between what you know is healthy and what feels familiar. Part of you wants to choose the same type of person you always choose because it is comfortable even though it hurts. Another part of you knows you need something different. The Chariot is about harnessing both of those impulses and directing them toward your actual goal. This card is also about discipline. Breaking karmic patterns requires consistent effort. It is not enough to have an insight and then go back to your old ways. The Chariot is asking you to stay committed to your new path even when it feels uncomfortable, even when you are tempted to backslide, even when your old patterns try to reassert themselves. For Aquarius specifically, the Chariot is speaking to your need for independence and self-determination. You do not like being told what to do, and you do not like feeling trapped. But here's the thing. The karmic pattern is the real trap. Your old beliefs and behaviors are what is actually limiting your freedom. The Chariot is offering you true freedom through conscious choice and self-mastery. This card is also about confidence and moving forward boldly. Once you have clarity about what needs to change, the Chariot says do not hesitate. Do not second-guess yourself. Trust your knowing and move in that direction with full commitment. If you need to end a relationship that is repeating your pattern, do it decisively. If you need to set a boundary you have never set before, do it with confidence. If you need to walk away from someone who triggers your old wounds, do it without looking back. The Chariot is also about victory and success. This card is promising you that if you stay the course, if you maintain your discipline and keep steering toward what you actually want instead of what is familiar, you will break this pattern. You will reach your destination. The karmic cycle will complete, but the Chariot is also warning you about something. This card can sometimes indicate forcing things or being too aggressive in your approach. So there is a balance here. You need to be determined and decisive, yes, but you also need to stay connected to your emotional truth. Do not become so focused on breaking the pattern that you shut down your heart entirely or become rigid and controlling. The goal is conscious choice, not armored defensiveness. For you, Aquarius, the Chariot is particularly significant because it is about forward movement and progress. You are always focused on the future, always thinking about what is next. This card is saying use that gift. Stop analyzing past relationships, endlessly trying to figure out what went wrong. Stop trying to fix what is broken. Instead, look forward and start moving toward what you actually want with determination and focus. The Chariot is also about triumph over obstacles. Whatever has been blocking you from healthy love, whatever patterns have kept you stuck, this card is saying you have the strength and willpower to overcome them. You are not a victim of your karma. You are a powerful being who can consciously redirect your life path. The third and final card is the Hermit, and this card brings such a beautiful depth to this reading. The Hermit is about introspection, inner wisdom, and spending time alone to really understand yourself on the deepest level. In the context of breaking karmic love patterns, the Hermit is telling you something really important. Part of breaking the cycle is spending time outside of relationship dynamics so you can truly see yourself clearly. When you are constantly jumping from one relationship to the next, or staying in unhealthy situations because you are afraid of being alone, you never give yourself the space to understand your patterns and heal them. The Hermit is inviting you into a period of intentional solitude. This does not necessarily mean you have to be completely alone or avoid all romantic connections, but it does mean pulling back from your usual patterns of relating and spending significant time in self-reflection and inner work. Here is what is so powerful about the Hermit appearing in this reading. This card represents the wise elder, the person who has done the journey and gained the wisdom. The Hermit is saying that you have all the answers you need inside yourself. You do not need another person to complete you. You do not need external validation to feel worthy of love. Everything you are seeking in relationships you can find within yourself first. For Aquarius, this is particularly relevant because your sign is so focused on community, friendship, and collective energy. But the Hermit is saying that right now you need to turn inward. You need to get quiet enough to hear your own inner voice, your own intuition, your own wisdom about what you really need and want in love. The Hermit carries a lantern that lights the way. This is your inner guidance system, your intuition, your deepest knowing. When you spend time alone and really listen to yourself, you start to see things you could not see when you were caught up in relationship drama and external noise. You start to understand the deeper spiritual lessons behind your karmic patterns. This card is also about taking your time. The Hermit does not rush. This is someone who understands that real transformation happens slowly, in the quiet moments, through consistent inner work over time. So if you are feeling pressure to be in a relationship right now, or if you are frustrated that you have not broken your pattern yet, the Hermit is asking you to be patient with yourself and trust the timing of your journey. The Hermit is also about becoming your own source of light and wisdom. When you do this inner work, when you really get to know yourself and heal your wounds, you stop looking for someone else to save you or complete you. You become whole within yourself. And that is when you are actually ready for a healthy partnership, because you are coming from a place of wholeness rather than neediness. For your specific question about breaking karmic love patterns, the Hermit is saying that the final key is integration. You have identified your patterns with the Hierophant. You have taken decisive action to change course with the Chariot. Now you need time to integrate these changes, to really embody your new way of being, to let the transformation sink in at the deepest level. The Hermit is also suggesting that your karmic pattern might involve losing yourself in relationships or depending too much on others for your sense of identity or worth. Breaking this pattern means learning to be complete and fulfilled on your own. It means developing such a strong relationship with yourself that you do not need a romantic partner. You choose one from a place of desire rather than desperation. This card is showing that solitude is not loneliness. Spending time alone is not punishment or failure. It is actually the most powerful thing you can do right now to break your karmic cycle. In the silence and stillness, you will find clarity. In the space away from unhealthy dynamics, you will heal. In the practice of being with yourself, you will discover your own wholeness. The Hermit also represents spiritual seeking and deeper meaning. So this card is suggesting that your karmic love pattern has a spiritual dimension. These repeated painful experiences are teaching you something about yourself, about love, about your soul's journey. The Hermit invites you to explore what that lesson is, to find the gift in the challenge, to understand the higher purpose behind your struggles. And here is something beautiful about the Hermit being the final card in this reading. After you do all this work, after you break your patterns and transform your relationship with love, the Hermit suggests you will become a guide for others. Your wisdom from this journey will help other people who are struggling with similar patterns. Your breakthrough will inspire others to do their own healing work. So let me bring all three cards together for you, Aquarius. The path to breaking your karmic love pattern looks like this. First, examine the beliefs and conditioning that have been driving your choices. Get conscious about the unconscious rules you have been following. That is the Hierophant showing you the foundation that needs to shift. Second, take control of your choices and steer yourself in a new direction with determination and discipline. Stop repeating the pattern even when it feels uncomfortable to choose differently. That is the Chariot giving you the willpower to change course. Third, spend time alone getting to know yourself deeply, healing your wounds, and becoming whole within yourself so you do not need a relationship to feel complete. That is, the Hermit integrating the transformation at the deepest level. The beautiful thing about these three cards together is they are showing you a complete pathway. This is not just theoretical. This is practical, actionable guidance. You identify the problem, you take action to change it, and you integrate the change through inner work. This is how karma actually breaks. If you are an Aquarius who has been stuck in painful love patterns, please hear this message. You have the power to break free right now. It will take work. It will take courage. It will take commitment. But you are absolutely capable of this transformation. The cards are confirming that liberation is possible and showing you exactly how to achieve it. You deserve love that feels healthy and expansive and real. You deserve partnership that supports your growth rather than keeping you stuck. You deserve to break free from these old, painful cycles and experience something completely different. And it all starts with the choices you make right now, today, in this moment. I really hope this reading gave you some clarity and maybe even some encouragement about what is possible for your romantic future. Breaking karmic patterns is some of the most important work we can do in this lifetime, and I am feeling strongly that many Aquarius placements are ready for this breakthrough right now.